Hello, dear friends. I'm Kathleen Whitehead. I am a channel and a medium and a few other things. Um, I want to give gratitude to all who are visiting this channel, either at this moment with my dear friend Cheryl and at a later date with all the dear friends that I don't know are watching. So I just want to tell you how much I appreciate whatever you do to listen and to just enjoy. This is my heart's desire to reach those who would like to be reached through my particular way of channeling. I have been urged, and I began a while back, a few weeks ago, speaking through my own voice. And so the process is I speak a little bit about things that have come up for me since the last channeling, and then I will invite the aspects of love after I do some light languages. So this week has been a typical, very exciting and fun Mercury retrograde, I would say. I had a vision appointment, which it went well. It was delayed, of course, but it went fine. I had an attempt to change phone numbers that is still a work in progress, and no, it did not go well, but it's Mercury retrograde, so I'm going to table that until that's over. And I've tabled most of my other appointments, but I've also had a lot of triggers or healing opportunities come up where very old wounds have shown themselves, and I've gotten new information that I am processing about the things that happened in my childhood and so forth. But then there's also, I have heard from some people who are feeling very impatient, and boy, can I uh, identify with that. I my motto is, Lord, give me patience now. But I think that as I thought about the impatience that I've heard about, I started looking at how long it took me to get where I am, because I think part of the impatience has to do with those who want to experience everything that they see others. And I can identify with that because I see others who have much deeper, more interesting experiences and um, get to do things metaphysically that I have not had the opportunity yet to do. So I fully identify with that. But I got to thinking about patience and how things happened for me. And so I'm going to give you a little bit of my backstory. Um, I was married for 27 years, and I joyfully tell people I had 27 years of a good marriage and one bad day. I always thought we were happy, so I cannot complain and I will not complain. For me, it was good and I was happy. But the next morning after he left, revealing that he wasn't quite as happy, um, I woke up in fear, but not fear of being alone, not fear of doing anything in the 3D world, and I was immersed completely in 3D and survival mode from my childhood. I did not know there was anything else. But I woke up and realized I didn't have any idea what I wanted to do that day. I only knew what I would be doing with my husband, but I had no idea what I would enjoy doing. And that was scary to me. And so it was such a blessing for me to realize that and to say to myself, well, I've got to figure out what's wrong with me because I don't want to go through this again. And I had only been through one day of it or just a few hours of it. But I um I immediately started trying to figure out who I was. And in that journey, I, uh, of course, went into therapy. I expressed all kinds of emotions. I I tried to learn to meditate. I joined support groups. I uh, just did every single thing that I could think of in order to figure out who I was. I had the best self-help library of anybody I ever knew. So I had read all the books, and I spent 10 years in that process. So the leaving happened when I was 50 years old. I spent the next 10 years finding out who I was, trying to find out who I was. And I learned a lot. I did meditations. I did things where I looked at my history and what had happened to me in my lifetime because I had no idea there was anything else. I always knew there were angels because they took care of me. And guardian angels, and I knew that there were ancestors. I didn't know anything about uh, multiple lives, reincarnations. I didn't know anything about that. But I knew that my relatives were around and angels were around because I experienced so much serendipity and so many what I would call miracles and signs and so forth, but I had no idea. So what that part, I didn't even know I was being patient, and I didn't even know that in that time I was uncovering things and releasing things that I didn't even know I was releasing or uncovering. So then at age 60, I celebrated. I felt I knew who I was, and I celebrated that because I'd spent 10 years working. Then, at age 60, I met a beautiful person who became my mentor. Her name is Iva Nasser, and she is a seer and a magical being. And she saw me. I was taking dance lessons and learning to ballroom dance, and she was too. And she looked at me and she said, "I see your soul, and you have things to do." She says, "I see your wings. You are not the person you think you are." Which I would have expected myself to back away slowly because I'd spent 10 years figuring out who I was. But it sounded important. It sounded real. It sounded familiar. So I listened to her, but I didn't believe a thing of it. I began to believe that there is a metaphysical world. Began to believe that, but I didn't believe that I had any part of it, that I had any gifts. My feeling is that it's not gifts, but it's something that everybody has, and they get to uncover it if they have decided that they're going to work in this way or experience in this way. I've learned a lot, but the next 5 years, I studied and got curious and interested in all the different things that there was, and then I had a spontaneous mediumship experience where I gave someone a mediumship reading in one of the classes. This happened the month of my 65th birthday. So and my point is that I didn't know I was being patient, and probably if I felt like I was having to be patient during that time, I may not have even, I don't know what would have happened, but I didn't know I was being patient, but they were working with me and they were uncovering and helping me because I think the most important part of that journey was me getting to know myself. And by the way, everybody told me, "You have to learn to love yourself." And how do you do that? I had no idea. I have since gotten to know myself, and the more I know myself, the more I love myself. But it was not, I had no idea. So I was just as confused as anybody else. Anyway, now I work in metaphysical realm. I was an accountant for 42 years, but now I am not. But there are certain really important things that I learned, and I'm not sure that it was patience, but I learned that what was important for me was to really assess who I was, what I wanted. I had to learn everything about myself. At that point, I didn't even know. At the beginning, I didn't know what kind of music I enjoyed. I didn't know what my favorite flower was. I didn't know much of anything. So I got to know myself by working every day at some sort of digging into myself. And then when it started to happen, it's happened slowly. It happened slowly. But I think that being aware of my thoughts, of my physical self, of everything, I noticed everything. And I didn't realize that I was also noticing signs, that I was noticing visitations and so forth. I didn't know what I was noticing, but I was noticing. And I was journaling and I was asking questions. And I think that that part of the journey was very important to set me up to, after the next 5 years, accept that, okay, maybe I have something to do. Maybe I do. One of the things that is indicative that you're going to find your gifts is a curiosity about this stuff, a curiosity about mediumship, about ghosts, about all of the different, what I would call 3D words of the metaphysical realms, because we all have access. We all have all of it, but sometimes it's not our time. Sometimes fear might be in the way. Just there's many reasons, but I think the most important thing for me was to dig into my own self and identify the things that upset me and figure out why they upset me and why I did certain things. And actually, I am still uncovering things like that. And I'm still impatient. I still want everything now, but I'm calmer about it, and I have to laugh at myself at my own impatience. So that's kind of what I have experienced this week. Um, I've been around beautiful people. I've had lucky things happen and interesting things happen. One thing I know at this point in my life is I'm never alone, even though physically I live alone. But I know that I am happy in who I am at this moment. So I thank you for listening to me. I will now take a minute and ask for beings to come in and communicate their light language through me, and then we'll see if the aspects of love have anything that they wish to add. So I am inviting inner earth beings to channel their light language through me because I would like to establish a relationship with inner earth beings. So that's who I'm asking to come forward. Haida hata ita aha se sikatata ita itinia. Hasenia hayekete. Shiataya na mayata skaya. Tania ta ti 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 atia. Pa ate ti inia nana eke tiata. Ta ate niata ayata bataika a. Si tia na si tia. So soki tia damania. Sa ayata ta petiti ikate ata iele tiata isikete etia. Hamenia kata ayata pa eti etiata batoko shikete eti ania. Hello, hello, friends. We are aspects of love. We are the loving aspects of many beings. We bring to you love and encouragement. That is our goal. That is our reason for channeling through our friend Kathleen. We know that this is a time where you would like for us to just get on the road with it, that you would like to go ahead and experience all the things. You've heard of the new earth, you've heard of many different um, predictions that have happened. You've heard and you experienced the chaos that is happening throughout your planet. You have seen and maybe experienced some of the earthly catastrophes that have happened, including heavy rains that caused flash flooding and so forth. And then, of course, there are volcanoes and earthquakes and fires and all sorts of chaotic things that the earth is experiencing. There are upheavals in the human realm. You have seen that, you have witnessed it, and we will just tell you that that is all of it is part of the process of bringing in the new earth. Your part of that is to be as happy and peaceful and loving as you can be in this time. And you don't realize how much work you're doing when you, especially when you keep your frequency, your vibration, your attitudes at a high level, at a loving level. Every time you smile at someone who didn't start out with a smile at you, you are raising the frequency of the collective. So what we hope for you to do in this is keep on doing. And patience is something that is what you don't know is that underneath the impatience is work that is being done on your physical body, your etheric body. You are learning in your subconscious. You do not realize it. You are helping, your energy is helping other people, even though you do not realize it. But underneath the patience, the impatience, there is progress on your part. So just remember, you're all working toward unity, working toward love, working toward a new earth that you are in the process of creating. It is coming, it will come. And just be loving, be yourselves, because you are doing the work, even though you don't necessarily realize it. We would like to ask if our friend Cheryl has any questions at this time.
Yes, I do. The first
you.
one, the first one is that Kathleen and I have noticed how tired we are lately. I feel like sometimes we're a broken record on that one, but it's always good to get some advice. I think both of us wish we have more energy to do more things and make sure we're doing the right thing. So what is our tiredness coming from lately?
Well, there's many factors. One thing, as you rest, you are working. But we mentioned that there are changes happening within your physical body, within your etheric body, within all of everything around you, and the earth is changing. And frankly, when your body is producing wonderful changes, it needs rest. It's like you have it's not the same as if you have an infection that your body is fighting, but
Hmm.
when your cells are advancing, um they're working too. They're and so that you're going to be tired. You're also working during your sleep time of your own vibration. You may be having dreams, you may not be having dreams that you remember. You are having experiences in your sleep time that are enhancing your progress. So the best thing to do is just listen to your body when it tells you that it's tired. And
Mhm,
and we know that our friend Kathleen feels guilty about falling asleep during
mhm,
daytimes, but if her body needs it, and we have to remind her that she has always said that if I need sleep, my body is going to tell me.
mhm,
So we need to remind her. And we need to remind you to rest. You are going through all kinds of changes. You are being aware of the things that are triggering you. You are being aware of the changes you're making in your own daily life in order to increase the love you have for yourself. You're learning constantly. Do you remember when you were in college and you would go for a lecture of some sort that was very intense and you would come away tired,
Mhm.
right? You would be tired. So think in terms of the work that you are doing personally that is uncovering things. You're studying yourself. The class that you're taking right now, and this goes for both you and
Mhm.
many people who will listen to this. The class that you're taking is the class in your own self, and you're
Mhm.
learning, and that's making you tired too. So there are many, many factors that are making you tired, but the important thing is to eat good food, be in nature if you can, drink good water, get good sleep,
Mhm.
and keep your attitude, be aware of your attitude, be aware, which you are, and you're getting better and better at this. We know this. You are aware of when something has upset you. We want to remind you that formerly, when something triggered you, upset you, you might stay in that triggered or upset mood for many hours, possibly many days. But now you are able to work through that uh, and just the time frame has shortened so much, but it took learning, it took self-investigation to get to this point. We hope that
Mhm.
that helps.
Yes, it does. Thank you.
You're most welcome. Do you have another question?
Yes, I want to ask you what is the worth of human logic?
Human logic is what you have relied on based on the agreed upon rules
Mhm.
of how you operate in society. And it might be different in different cultures, but there are certain things that this makes sense to you. That's logic. But you're moving into a new world. And so the magic that you may be experiencing doesn't follow those same rules of logic.
Mhm.
Also, the energies that of your planet are confusing people. And thank you.
Mhm.
Listen to the chaos that is happening in
Mhm.
your leadership. Now, you the, you're looking for logic there, and in a lot of places that does not exist, because it doesn't really fit with your personal societal logic. But that's a different culture, isn't it? But everything is confused in upheaval. So uh logic as what we understand you to mean
Mhm.
is reducing, but yet a new kind of logic is expanding. A logic that includes the knowledge that there are no limits. In the
Mhm.
societal logic, there are limits, right? There are limits to what you do, what makes sense, and but now it's kind of wavy on the outsides. Was that helpful?
Yes, it was. Thank you.
You're most welcome. We like that question. Do you have another question?
Yes, one last one. What is the worth of human anxiety? And if it has no worth, could you give advice on how to reduce it?
Human anxiety is equivalent to fear. And but there's more. Fear is um, has a lot of physical. I mean, a lot of mental and emotional components. Anxiety has a lot of physical components. So the worth, or actually the worthlessness, the anti-worth, is the physical effect that it has on the body.
Uh-huh.
So anxiety is something to uh, disallow, but
Okay.
except for what anxiety and fear, when you lived in um, caves and lived in very um, dangerous situations, fear and anxiety were your warnings.
Okay.
Now, fear and anxiety are also warnings, but you do not have a tiger running
Mhm.
against you. You have the so your fear has more to do with um, mental things that you expect. Fear is something from the future, what you're experiencing right at this moment, unless you are having something that fear is appropriate. Like,
Mhm.
for instance, if you're being robbed,
Mhm.
that's not a pleasant thing, and fear might give you more adrenaline so that maybe you can run away or at least try to defend yourself. But fear of what the boss is going to say,
Mhm.
or what some other situation that you don't want to experience, that does not help. You don't need the adrenaline for something that's going to happen, that where you are not in danger. You don't need the anxiety, but it's also one of those arrows that
Mhm.
can point for you to something that you need to heal. So, for instance, if you had some sort of a trauma in childhood, that you have leftover um, memories or physical experiences in your body, you may experience anxiety or fear that may be not reasonable. And that gives you a place to look, to ask yourself,
Mhm.
what caused me to have that reaction? And that is a source to find healing. Sometimes you might need additional help with anti-anxiety medications, or some sort of therapy that is going to help you. Many things can help you bring out these fear-inducing, anxiety-inducing memories, if you will. For
Mhm.
instance, your sound therapy, your acupuncture, your different modalities that might help you release some of these fears and anxieties, that because like when you're getting a massage, you might get so relaxed that you have the memory of
Mhm.
what caused you to have that anxiety. Or so there's your um standard medical and psychological approaches from your medical systems, but
Mhm.
you have the the we're gonna call them woo-woo, um, things that can help also. But the biggest help is for you to look inside and figure out what caused that in the first place. Did that answer your question?
Yes, very good. Thank you very much.
Is there any other question?
I am done for today.
We thank you for your excellent questions, for your probing of things that you wish to learn about. And we honor the work you're doing. And we will now leave you with our gratitude and our love and our reminder that we are here to support you if you will ask. And we will give you some of our light language to support you. Taana piatada aleana shigete te maniatake.